Hey Houston, hey world, this is Vicky Cruz with the Hero Network wishing you a happy 2025. And with me is my co-host, our Vice President of Mission One USA, the second Vic, the first Vic, whatever we are, because we're two Vics and we are always better than one. That's our mission.
Dr. Vicky, how are you?
Yes.
So viewers, breaking news. Vicky Cruz.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, Vicky Cruz is now a doctor. She has a doctorate in education. This became official last month, but we're going to have a ceremony that you're invited to attend because she's going to be recognized. She's going to be recognized as a full legitimate doctor from a accredited institution. So Dr. Vic, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yes, it is an exciting new year. I was not expecting that at all. Like, I'm just coming in, running in.
You never know what's going to happen here.
I kind of feel like I'm at those restaurants, and what I do with my kids sometimes when it wasn't even their birthday, I would tell the waitress and the waiter.
It's their birthday?
Yeah, I even do that with friends, and I'll be like, oh, it's their birthday. Go sing happy birthday. And they come with this big old mariachi hat, embarrassing them or getting them on a boat. And it's kind of like, it's there. And I'm like, right now, I'm like, oh my God, what happened?
Now it's going to come back on you.
And then that's why I was
when we go to a restaurant, I'm going to say, she's a doctor. I'm with a doctor.
Dr. Cruz.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, I've always, as a little girl, Victor, wanted to be, I said, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to deliver babies. I just wanted to just hold nothing but babies, right?
You wanted to be a doctor. You want to be a broadcaster. You wanted to be a teacher. You wanted to be in law enforcement. You wanted to be a firewoman. You pretty much, except for the firewoman, you pretty much nailed all the other four.
No, we're fire people. We do solutions. We turn off fires.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
We may not have a water hose, right?
Not all firemen wear fireman uniforms.
That's right. So when we are turning off fires, going into these, into the community.
Speaking of, I just overheard you speaking to a community leader who that's his mission, is to put out the fires in the community. So you're always in the middle. You're always in the middle of putting out the fires, helping the community, helping children and families.
Yeah, well, in this particular situation, I had a phone call from someone who is totally passionate about reentry programs, for those coming out of prison and just basically second chance, rebuilding their lives. And so he came to me with this vision, and I said, listen, I've got to connect you. That's at this time not the space that I'm in, although I've been in the space, gone into the prisons, working with the Texas Department of Corrections, the TDC. But I'm like, I'll give you all the connections so you can do what you can do. Right. And so one of the connections, I said, look, talk to Johnny, because Johnny Mata, and he's amazing at what he does. So that it's about doing that. We are empowerment. This isn't about, our mission.
The Hero Network. We connect people. We connect agencies. We connect resources for children and for families.
If we don't do better by connecting visions and missions and empower leaders, right? We don't have too many leaders, and we don't have too many workers. We need more. We need you, community. You're watching this. We need you. Don't give up. So at any time when somebody says, and I thank God for this guy here, Victor, because he's been one of those people. He's heard me out years ago where we were running with the vision, and then he came back about almost 2 years ago and said, what are we doing now? I said, now more than ever, we need to run faster. Now more than ever, we need to be more united. Now more than ever, we need to come up with solutions, and we need to change. And it's going to take people like ourselves, people like you that are watching this, to make this change. So this is what Hero is for. It's to basically not just create and develop leaders, right? To restore homes and build better foundations, but it's about bringing the unity and what our nation and what our local community, if we can, I believe this, and we've said this all the time, change Houston, we'll change the nation.
Absolutely. Actually, it was Dr. Kleinberg, former sociologist at Rice University. He said, "As goes Houston, so goes the nation." So Houston is the melting pot of America. It is now the second most diverse city in the country, next to LA. And so, if we can work it out here, friends, we can change the nation and we can change the world.
Absolutely. I've never seen, I just had the conversation earlier. I said so much division among the parties. Nothing wrong with the parties. Yes. I love both parties, work with both parties, but it's like, let's just come up with a solution and let's really make it about people instead of their own policies, own agenda, and what have you, but talk about it. And if so anyway, we're not going to talk about that. I want to shift this over to what has happened here in our community, what we're doing with the Academy, and talk about what we are doing with upcoming projects, exciting stuff. So let's talk about Academy.
The Academy is launching, friends, January 11th. That's this coming Saturday. And we are kicking it off in a big way. We have 200 high school students from Milby High School who we're going to be working with. We're going to be working with these students.
They're
at risk. Let's call an ace an ace. These are kids who have problems. They have challenges. And again, they're a symptom of the environment, the family environment, the community. It's like when you focus on properly educating children, when you give them the resources, when you empower them, when you provide the avenues so that they can succeed, is it any wonder that people can overcome tremendous challenges? But again, when people are mired in problems and they have no solutions moving forward, is it any wonder that they get into all kinds of behavioral problems, truancy, etc.?
Yes, yeah.
So we have a challenge, and I've done it. Vicky has done it. So it's like we have all the confidence in the world that put us in front of any kids, and we will inspire them. We will lead them. We will challenge them. We will play with them. We will do whatever it takes in order to be able to mold that mind into thinking about what is possible in the world.
Our children need motivation. And this week we are with, Victor just made mention, have been working really hard for the organization for this coming Saturday. And we are so thankful for every speakers. We have organizations that are coming in to let them know, because it's about being the bridge. And we are the topic, or the actual theme of the program is called "Where Are You Going?" Where are you going? And so, right now I am on chapter 5 of the book "Where Are You Going?" Or actually, I think it's going to be called "On Woodruff," because that is the street.
If you don't know where you're going, no road is the right one to take.
Exactly.
So it's important that people understand that they got to have a clarity to know where they're going. And this is the life story of Dr.
Correct.
Cruz.
Yes, yes. And so back in 1990, I was it 1990, on the street Woodruff. And on this street, I was caught skipping school after first period, running out of Milby High School. And just had been every morning, I'd get dropped off. I'm vomiting. I'm just not feeling well. And but getting dropped off, and I would run the side school to go to a friend's house and just eat, watch TV, and sleep. And so I was leaving, and my assistant principal, Mr. Morgan, says, "Hey, Vic, where are you going?" And I was like, catches me. He's like, "Go to my office." And I'm going to the office, and that's when the rest of it,
Let's give listeners context. It's like you were caught on the street skipping school, okay?
Yep.
And so you got caught on the corner of a Woodruff, and he says, "Where are you going?" That's why the book is entitled "Where Are You Going?"
Yeah, so the reason why is it penetrated my heart. When I get into the office, Mr. Morgan, tells me, ask. he goes, why are you skipping school? And I tell him, I said, Mr. Morgan, I'm pregnant. We got into, he asked 100 questions, but the last thing he asked me, one of the things he says, do you want to be another Mexican on welfare? That was his question. He said, do you want to be another Mexican question? And that there in itself said, where are you going, Vicky? What are you going to do with this? And I looked him straight in the face. I said, just watch. But I never thought that in the million years that I'll be like, my watch would end me here in 2025, but it's been passionate in a journey. I'm on chapter 5 of the book.
Wouldn't
Victor.
it be great if he could show up for your graduation? We got to make an effort to locate him. And even if we cannot have him attend in person, maybe we can have a video of him to be played. Yes, that would be great.
That would be awesome. I would love to see Mr. Morgan now and tell him thank you so much. See Warren Moon also, because I couldn't go back to Milby. There was an at-risk school called H.P. Carter at the time, so Milby couldn't take me back, but they did say, if you graduate, you'll graduate with us and you'll be a Buffalo. And so I had to complete my last year as a senior at H.P. Carter, taking a bus, a city bus, a local bus, whatever transportation, and determination. I graduated with honors, and I was awarded a scholarship, $500 scholarship. $500 scholarship. Speaking of scholarship, I want to say something too about the Hero Network and what's happening right now. We are partnered in with an organization that is going to give, or that is offering scholarships out. There's going to be more information. If you're watching this and you have scholarships available for our heroes, we are next going into Chavez for high school. There's all these local high schools that we are working with, that we are going to start penetrating in to make more heroes or develop more heroes, because a hero is in everyone. Doesn't matter what they're actually doing right now, is they're risk takers. I see them as little risk takers that are going out there, not maybe focusing on the right thing. But guess what? If we just shift that energy, work with these students, the sky's the limit. These kids will take off flying like the little heroes they are, right?
We've seen it. We've seen it time and time again, where we empower little children, students, to step up and to find their own inner hero to do great things in the community, starting at home.
Absolutely. And I know that this is the first show of 2025. This is our first show. So our last show was back in before the holidays, and we were doing a lot of Pancho Claus movement. It was such a success. I met with Pancho Claus yesterday, Richard Reyes, and he talked about how so much came in. We know Richard Reyes had underwent surgery after surgery, and our heroes participated last month in the hero program. In the Pancho Claus movement with wrapping boxes.
The toy drive. Yeah.
The toy drives. We delivered boxes, picked up boxes, and made these connections to get the toys and the mission fulfilled for Pancho Claus, who has been doing it for 45 years already, Victor, almost, I think, 45 years.
The man's a legend.
He is a legend, and there's so much more happening. So viewers here in Houston, you got to get plugged in, man. This guy he's so creative. And so our heroes were out there, and they were blessed with the toys. Visit our page. You can see some of the gifts. They were all over the news last month. They were in the news the 25th. They were doing caroling for Pancho Claus, and their heroes are ready. They're like, we are encouragers, and we're going to go into hospitals, nursing homes. This is what happens when we put time in our children. They give them purpose. And so now, through the singing of caroling, they're ready for more. They're like, can we go sing? I said, yeah, why do we got to sing just on Christmas?
Yeah.
We don't. We sing everywhere in the shower, and So if you're watching this, get your babies plugged in. We soon are going to have we have it. We're announcing the hero dates that are going to happen monthly. Okay, so every month is a helpful month. It's a month. The theme for the month, and so we're asking you to please get plugged in. We'll be posting that. Victor's been great taking care of our social media platforms, which are, what's our social media platforms right now?
We're in LinkedIn, we're in Facebook, we're in YouTube, we're in Instagram and TikTok.
Correct.
And if you go to our website at www.mission1usa.com, all of our social media, there's direct links from there that you can just click on.
Correct. Yes. And so, and also while you're clicking on it, share what we're doing. We can't do this without you. You know, Mission One USA, you'll read, it's about togetherness. It's about solutions. We can't depend on anyone else. We've got to be that accountability over our own lives, our own hero. And so be sure be sure to share, like, and share what our heroes are doing. In time, you will not see Vicky Cruz and Victor Escalante here. We will have our own hero network where children are literally running this program.
Can you imagine hero students running Hero Network?
Hey, I can see already the students we have now.
We have
our
one
interrogator.
Talk about her.
The interrogator, like, she literally has questions. It's like you don't even know what's going to come out of her mouth, but she's like,
and she's only like 10.
She's 10 years old. Yeah, she's 10 years old, and she, I think, real quick, are y'all listening? Is anybody out there? Hermana's here. She's down there. I told her already. Can you just bring her up or get somebody to bring her up? So we have a guest coming in. I can't wait for this guest. But going back to the interrogator, she is always full of questions. I'm like, wow. She, just always putting us on the little spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, we do have heroes that will do an amazing job sitting right here. That's what we want to do. We want to make your child into a leader. We want to make your problem child into a leader, right? Many parents say, I have a problem child. I said, the problem is sometimes not the child. Watch what comes out of the mouth. Do not identify your problem child as a problem child. Identify them as a passionate child. Identify your children as a person, a leader, a success. Speak that life and encourage yourself, parents, because again, your story is not their story. And children, their story is not your story. Break the cycle. Don't have these expectations. I remember somebody said to me, why did you do what you do? I said, because I really wanted to show my kids que sí se puede, that it's possible. I wanted to show my kids to say, listen, I'm going to break this cycle and we are going to go to school. We're going to get into the community and what have you, right? And so my kids love people. But, their passion's not my passion. It's not their passion. And it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. When they're ready, it's here. Because like I told my kids, you have a story. You had to live with this woman. You had to live with this one here, And hold on a second. I have someone calling in. Hey, sis, are you here? Go to the elevator, okay? I think I texted that. Go to the elevator. I can't hear you, but go to the elevator. And so someone's going to get Leticia Ablaza, my 4th grade friend. Hold up, Houston. You're going to love this girl. She's funny. She's full of life. And she's out there protecting the air qualities. And we're going to find out more about her. But in the meantime, Victor and I are literally updating you with what we're doing, how you can get plugged in, how you can support us. And that's where we're at.
Tell our listeners about the lineup of speakers.
Okay.
For the symposium.
So the lineup of speakers. Well, yours truly here is going to talk to the heroes or our heroes. I call them heroes no matter what. They may be little, children seeking opportunities and don't have distractions. But I'm the first speaker. We're going to talk about abuse. We're going to talk about
teenage pregnancy.
We're going
overcoming shame.
Yeah, overcoming that shame. And we have our next speaker that's going to follow it up. It's going to be the Bridge Over Troubled Waters. And the Bridge Over Troubled Waters is going to talk about the resources that they have for the teens, what's available. There's some teens that are out there, children that are out there in abusive homes, domestic violence, where there's just parents or anyone in their home that may be going through domestic violence. Our second speaker is going to be someone who lost their daughter. We have a situation of fallen buffalo who passed in her sleep, 16 years old, Isabel Gallegos.
This is really heartbreaking because the entire body of the student body was affected because of recent deaths that have happened at Milby. And so we're going to address this firsthand and directly with a student body that we will be working with to address a lot of the grief and the grief counseling, that we're going to provide a resource for this so that the students are not left in the lurch, but they will be able to heal, and they will be able to have additional resource.
Absolutely. They'll get the coping that they need. They will get the resources that they need. So we're hoping for a couple of resources that are going to be there to talk about the recent losses. And the next one, we will have Houston Police Department to talk about gang prevention and drug prevention.
Fentanyl.
Yeah,
fentanyl is a big problem in our community.
Absolutely. So parents, be mindful of what's happening with your children's life.
And our guest today is going to be a speaker.
Yes, our guest, special guest, Leticia Gutierrez, is our speaker as well, because she'll be sharing her story. And we also have Victor sharing his, along with resources for scholarship, Daisy Maureen. We also have Ted Mendoza, who's going to talk to our heroes about...
Shout out to Ted.
Shout out to Ted. He's our board member. Ted is going to share our outreach opportunities and purpose, why they have to drive their purpose. He's going to just bring in the RBI, bring everyone else in, along with Daisy and Leticia. Those are the top three right here. They're going to carry in the bat, and they're going to tell our 200 Buffaloes, like, why they need to pursue purpose, how they were distracted growing up, how they, were not a statistic, but yet one of our city's leaders. So again, welcome Houston, welcome nation, welcome world. My good friend Leticia Gutierrez, who, yes, clap your hands. She's here now. This one right here in that corner is where we're at. When we look, you're gonna look at this this little screen cut, sister.
Okay.
And Leticia, we want to talk. I want to talk about you. She does amazing things, but I want to talk about my friend who has a powerful story. And I tell her, I'm like, look, Mama, I know you do what you do, and to the Air Alliance, she does it well. She loves her job, Air Alliance, rice, everything she touches, she loves it.
Well, thank you for having me, Vicky, and thank you, Victor,
Welcome.
as well. I'm always excited to be near y'all with y'all's energy, and always trying to promote not just the work that I'm doing, but also, how we're trying to make this city better, make our community better. And so I'm certainly, happy and feel very welcoming to be a part of this. But yeah, like everyone else, I have a story that, growing up in the East End, going to Dede Middle School.
South Maid.
So, yeah, starting with South Maid. That's how long Vicky and I have known each other, since the 4th grade. And so we've kept a friendship, which I think has been just beautiful. I mean, we've always have been managed to come together whenever it's important for our children in the community. And that's part of the reason why I started doing the work that I'm doing, mainly around because of my son when he was younger and having upper respiratory issues, and figuring out that, where we lived was impacting his health, which was also impacting his grades, which was impacting his ability to be able to progress to bigger and better, and so the mama bear that we are, I took up this challenge to want to make things better for my community. And so, it's just bringing awareness around, yes, we live in what the cool kids call Petro Metro, and we do depend very heavily on a a lot of the industrial facilities around us. But that doesn't mean that it should be at the cost of our health.
Correct.
And our children's health.
Yeah, and there in the East End too, Leticia has been so instrumental through the Air Alliance to help out with my situation. I was struggling with with asthma, breathing, and what have you, because it was just so the air quality. And to see how you all performed, there was metal. We'll talk about the metal.
Right. I mean, there was some studies around some of the metal recyclers in the area, and a lot of the metal dust that was obviously, again, impacting, families like you and yourself. And again, what that translates to health-wise. And so in communities where you have little to no access to healthcare, I mean, that's even another layer of issues, right? And so just bringing awareness and understanding how to be able to also communicate with your local and state representation and those that have access to power to be able to enact laws to just make sure that they're keeping our health at the forefront of things, right? Because we can do things better. We can do things cleaner. And so that's where, we step in, and we're that watchdog, and we advocate and also provide those avenues needed for community to be able to, speak in their own language, to be able to get their message out and get their story out. And then, we also do a lot of research. So we have the community stories backed by that research and that data and those stats for them to be able to, again, be able to present the ammunition necessary for our lawmakers to say, okay, well, let's see how we can fix this and make this better. Again, we know that it's a big driving factor in our community. There's jobs at stake, and so there is community that sometimes say, well, you're gonna try to get rid of my job, and we're like, no. If anything, we're trying to protect you at your job,
Right.
Yeah.
right? And so with the numerous amount of industrial explosions that we've had here in the last 5 to 6 years, and things unfortunately not getting better. Again, why not have someone that's advocating to make sure that we can do things the right way? And so, I always point to like Valero in the East End, that in Manchester, that, gets to spew hydrogen cyanide here in our community. The same Valero in California is not allowed to do that. So there are ways to do it. And so our state legislators here in the state of Texas just need to do better. Right. And
You're the local Aaron Brockovich.
Exactly.
Well, I will say that was a movie that inspired me
Really?
quite a bit.
Wow.
Just her very naive way at the beginning. And I feel like I was very naive as
Yeah.
well, thinking like, oh, I can run for city council and be on city council and have influence. Well, unfortunately, city council, not that they don't have power, but it's very limited, because a lot of the things that we're dealing with are state laws that also, bleed into federal laws, right? And so, yes, city council, even the mayor, could use their influence to co-sign some of the things that we're working on, but it ultimately, unfortunately, in the state of Texas, the local municipalities have little to no power, and so, and industrial facilities have all the power, right? They have all of the money, they have all of the lobbying necessary to be able to push, their agenda through. So, when people see me as a threat, I'm like, it's legitimately just me and a few others that have taken on this very enormous role. But I always, say, the power is in the people. So it's important for us to show up to vote. It's important for us to show up to elect those that truly represent our interests. I mean, I know it's really weird for me to say that I don't enjoy the politics
Correct.
of it, but unfortunately, that's the name of the game,
Well,
right?
and the thing about it, though, it's not just about electing and saying, oh, well, team A won, team B won, and then staying there and staying, because, again, this is where we become, exclusive,
Right.
and not being able to work together, right? So even if, people have to maintain those relationships, Victor, to continue to work and say, hey, and despite of just the vote, even if yes, absolutely vote.
Yes.
But even if you did not, and that person, like I said, even with, I remember when you were running against Robert Gallegos, right? You ran, and you at that point did, and I still tell her, you need to run every run something, sister. And
well, I always say I'm Mexican, I'm always running, but however, I just think, I feel again that unfortunately, it takes a lot, and I'm not saying never, but it takes a lot of money and a lot of just, really getting community to understand that no, the people that really have our best interest at heart aren't the career politicians, and I'm all for people, doing the things at the same time. If you've been in politics longer than you've been alive, then it's probably time for you to pass the baton to somebody else.
That's right. Hey, listen, Leticia, we have a call right now. Hello, caller.
Hey, this is Ted.
What's up, Ted?
Hey, Ted.
I'm calling from the frozen tundra.
Okay, where are you located right now?
I am about an hour west of Arkansas.
Oh, wow.
An hour west of Arkansas. So Ted is like all over the state, and he has a position. Ted, what is your position again that you do with law enforcement? Risk? Hello? We probably lost. Okay, he's probably going to come back on. Okay, so Leticia, really quick, let me ask you this question.
Sorry about that.
There
he goes. I was like, there he goes. So Ted he spends all day, every day, 200 cities, I believe, that you support.
Well, I work with a multiple number of local governmental entities and provide them risk management and give them guidance, recommendations, resources as well. So it's a great organization. Love the mission, love the purpose.
All right. Yep. And we have Leticia here. You have a question for Leticia on her Air Alliance.
Hey, Leticia. Hey.
Hi, Ted.
Great to have you on the podcast. Hey, I want to give you kudos because I know the state of Texas recently are no longer having state inspections for their vehicles. However, they're still required to do vehicle emissions, which is a big thing regarding reducing air pollution and items like that, emission standards. So, but I think that's goes back to you on your drive, your passion on reducing those type of air emissions in the Houston area. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you for, acknowledging that. I mean, it was a little unfortunate, the way that bill passed, because we want to make sure that, the cars that are on the road are safe. And yes, that they're not polluting, our air. Part of our mission is also, finding alternative ways of transportation, because as our city continues to grow and congestion continues to pile up, expansion of freeways, statistically speaking, have never alleviated traffic. As if anything, they contribute to it in a big part. I actually just came back from a major metropolitan city who has an amazing subway system, and I'm not saying that that's going to be here in Houston, but we certainly can do something above ground where we can have a bus rapid transit system where again people can be able to depend on, to use, and not have to sit in traffic for hours.
So let me ask you this, Leticia. Like, I know that air, like you just talked about emissions and what have you. The pollutions coming out of the plants and what have you. What other areas are you focused on? Like, I know that there was the 45 north expansion. Tell us about that, and what other projects, like, would you say the top 3 or 4 or 5 or what have you?
Sure.
Yeah. What is it that you're working on?
So one of the main things right now is also concrete batch plants. Concrete batch plants are legitimately taking over our county of Harris and predominantly Black and brown communities. And this is northeast, east, and southeast of the quadrants. And you will look at the map of all of the current existing and just phased out facilities, and it's like an arrow. They call it the Harris County arrow, where on the west side it's none, and on the east it's just 240 approximately concrete batch plants. And so they emit particulate matter 2.5, which is one of the most dangerous chemicals in the air. And it's basically a scientific term for soot. And so it's the byproduct of any time anything is burning. So when you breathe these chemicals in, even for a healthy individual, if you do not expel them, they can attach to your lungs, get into your bloodstream, and cause a whole host of things from inflammation, fibromyalgia, and even cancer. So just imagine if you are immunocompromised, or you're a small baby, or pregnant mother, or someone with heart issues, or just any sort of upper respiratory issues, it's going to exacerbate those types of things. And so concrete batch plants are at the top of our list, trying to rein those in. There's no zoning in Houston. However, again, I go back to the state having that, taking away local power. So it's up to our state legislators to make sure that they are reining in these concrete batch plants and not putting them next door to schools or communities or churches, and so that is one of our biggest things. Transportation.
What's the latest with the one that was being built or is built and
LBJ?
operational near the medical center?
Yes, the LBJ, Texas Concrete, that was approved because, again, TCEQ, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, our state regulators that we pay taxes for, are supposed to protect us and make sure that these types of things are not harming our health. However, they're very lax on a lot of these regulations, and 98% of the time, these concrete batch plants do get their permits in the state of Texas. And so the Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, actually, had put a moratorium on kilns facilities, which are cement. It's a different type of aggregate facility. However, they omit the same types of chemicals. And so we asked the Lieutenant Governor, could you also put a moratorium on some of the concrete batch plants? Because we have communities like in East Aldine that have 8 within less than a 5-mile radius.
Yeah. And talk about, and listeners, this is why it's so important. I'm sure you're familiar, Letty, with the study that showed that a person's income and person's life trajectory is based upon the zip code in
Yes.
which they were born.
Yes.
And this also directly impacts mental health.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so glad you brought
air
that up.
quality directly impacts your mental health. So if you are having behavioral problems,
Yep.
if you're having all kinds of psychological problems, it could be tied to the air quality. So talk about that.
So yes, there was a study done where your zip code will determine your life expectancy.
Yes.
And here in the Northeast, again, the same east side of the quadrant, certain zip codes where we grew up, where we currently live in, are almost 18 to 20 years less than your west side compadres is what I call, here in the, in the county. And so again, yes, air quality is at the top of that list. As I mentioned, access to healthcare, access to quality food. So it's just layers upon layers.
Unfortunately, our time has gotten by, and so what
Yes.
do you want viewers and listeners
Just look
to
at
do?
look at
Sure. No, absolutely. One of the biggest calls to action right now is April 10th. If you go to our website, airalliancehouston.org, you will get information of us going to the state of Austin, to our state capital, to go and petition our state legislators to please help us on these very important environmental justice bills as they pertain to concrete batch plants, as they pertain to air pollution issues. And so we invite you to please come on the bus with us. We provide the bus, we provide the lunch, possibly even evening meals. And we usually get back about 7, 8 p.m. But get more details on our website. We're still working through some of the kinks, but we want as many people as possible to show up to our lobby day and let our legislators know that we're paying attention and that we need their help.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And so to contact you or to contact the Air Alliance, what's their best source?
So
emails?
you can definitely email me at Leticia, Leticia, at airalliancehouston.org. Please email me any questions, comments, concerns. We do have an air monitoring network as well. And so we welcome all and every community member to be able to be a part of the work that we're doing. So
Right.
thank you so much for having me.
Oh, yeah. And so Air Alliance on Facebook, right? Too.
Yes,
They can
Air
follow
Alliance
you.
on Facebook, Air Alliance Houston on Insta, Twitter, pretty much every social medium. Yes, we have a great
Awesome.
communications team.
Awesome. So you all, again, Leticia will be with us. I'm so excited about that because she has an amazing story that our students need to hear so they can also be empowered, right? So we thank you for watching our show. Victor, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, go Buffs.
Go Buffs. Yeah, that's right. So thank you all for watching. Until next week, go out and just make it the best day ever.